So, apparently the other day, Ghost of Tsushima set a couple records for PlayStation on PC, including having the highest concurrent player count for a single-player game published by PlayStation, and also being the second most popular PlayStation game on Steam behind only Helldivers 2. And just imagine how much higher those numbers could have been if you actually sold the game worldwide instead of limiting it to countries with PSN access. Bazinga! Now, I haven't bought the game. I'm probably not going to buy the game because I really don't want to contribute to Sony's handling of this nonsense, but then again, I still really want to play this game because I want to experience the art that Sucker Punch and Nixxes put so much work into. Oh gosh darn fiddlesticks, if only there was something I could do in this situation. I'm honestly torn on this news because I really don't want to encourage Sony's obsession with padding their PSN stats. I go more into detail about that aspect of things in this video, so if you want more of a discussion on that, go watch that video, because this video isn't going to be about that. Instead, this video is going to be about the inevitable wave of PlayStation fanboys who saw the success of Ghost of Tsushima on PC and took it really personally, because these people are obsessed with the PlayStation logo and are still completely allergic to anyone not paying hundreds of dollars for a big plastic box full of $70 games, 30 FPS caps, and an additional paywall between you and your own internet connection if you want to play your own games online. So put your pitchforks aside, because we're not yelling at Sony today, and we're not going to shred them in half for their utterly anti-consumer PSN practices in this video. Instead, we're going to have a nice cup of coffee and have a nice little chuckle at the people who, after everything Sony has done, are still publicly sucking them off at every opportunity for basically no reason. And when these people saw a PlayStation published game doing really well on a platform other than PlayStation, they were triggered to an unreasonable degree, and we can't resist the opportunity to make fun of them, now can we? So there were a handful of Twitter gaming news accounts that posted about the news of Ghost of Tsushima's great Steam launch, and we're going to take a look at some of the saltiest responses, because people got really upset about the fact that this game did really well on PC. Shall we begin? Buffalo says, "You're welcome, PC players. Try not to ruin this one with your entitlement and elitist bullshit." Why are you saying you're welcome? Like, bro, you didn't do anything. Legit, you had nothing to do with this. And don't try to pull the, oh, well, we bought it on PlayStation, so we're the reason you got it on PC. Because Sony also ported flippin' Sackboy to PC. I didn't see any of you guys buying that one. Like, it's not like Sony is actually following what sold best in terms of the order of PC ports here. But also, how would we ruin this with our entitlement? The game is out. The work is done. Genuinely. What can we do to ruin it at this point? Also, if anything, our entitlement and elitism is what got us a superior version of the game. We have higher standards for our games, so we got a better version of it. But apparently, us PC gamers, we're just ruining games left and right with our elitist attitudes. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, going back to playing literally any game I want at any frame rate I want, Mercy Mirror says, "Not impressive for a 132 million monthly active users on Steam. PS5 is fire." So, PS5 is fire, even though 6 words ago, you acknowledge that Steam has way more active users than the PS5. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for them. But also, if you think the numbers that Ghost of Tsushima is putting up aren't impressive, you need a reality check. The game launched in the middle of the week and is 4 years old, and yet it put up better numbers than most multiplayer games do on Steam. Steam has way more games competing for our attention, which is why concurrent players for the top games might be lower than you would expect for a platform this large. The fact that a single-player game has this many concurrent players is extremely impressive, because single-player games have endings. You finish them. So the fact that on a Monday morning, at the time that I'm making this video and taking these screenshots, Ghost of Tsushima is still boasting over 60,000 players. It's like 10:30 a.m. on a Monday right now. 60,000 people are still playing this. That's wild, because that means there's a massive number of people buying the game and hopping on to take the place of people who have put it down for one reason or another, be it because they're done, or because they're taking a break, or whatever the reason may be. Single-player focused games don't exist off shared servers or incentives for people to play together. And like, let's be real, the multiplayer is not what's bringing people to Ghost of Tsushima. Like, we all know people aren't buying this game for the multiplayer. That being said, concurrent player counts this high on a single-player game are a sign that a lot of people are buying it. For reference, the top Steam games right now are these. Like, look at these player counts. These are the top games on Steam. And remember that Ghost of Tsushima at 10:30 a.m. on a Monday is at 60K. This is impressive no matter how you want to look at it. Like, just imagine how much higher these numbers are going to be when Sony finally goes day and date. Corgi says, people keep asking for day and date, yet here they are selling this much of a 4-year-old game that has already sold, capped out on console, similar to how Rockstar operates. Okay, several things wrong here. First of all, the decision to release Ghost of Tsushima on PC 4 years after PlayStation, that was not a conscious decision. Like, that wasn't always the plan, you know? Sony shifted strategies and then greenlit a PC port years after the console version. This isn't like Rockstar, who always intends on releasing PC versions of their games, but they just hold on to them for a year or two so people double dip. Or at least in theory, that's why Rockstar does it. Not sure how great that strategy is actually going to play out nowadays, but we'll see. But also, second of all, you're saying this game is evidence that Sony doesn't have to do day and date because, oh, look how high the numbers are when it's 4 years old. Like, Sony doesn't have to go day and date because look at these numbers. But you know what game had even higher numbers? Helldivers 2, which was day and date. It's almost like day and date sells more copies than a really good delayed launch. It's almost like this entire tweet doesn't make sense if you think about it for 5 seconds. Bad Hombre says the PC gamer's starving for good games, hashtag PS5. I mean, we have almost all your games already. Like, Ghost of Tsushima is one of the last ones. Like, we already have Last of Us, we have God of War, we have Horizon, we have Spider-Man. Like what are you saying about your own PlayStation games if we already have them? And yet Ghost of Tsushima was the solution for PC gamers starving for good games. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have it both ways. And also, by this logic, doesn't that mean that the PlayStation guys are also starving for good games every time a new PlayStation exclusive comes out and sells well? Because if we're using your logic, yeah, that's what it means. But I have a feeling that when the next PlayStation exclusive comes out and sells well, you're not going to be saying that it was because you PlayStation guys are also starving for good games. I just have a feeling this is only going to apply to the PC for some reason, even though we have way more games than you. And we also have basically all of your games at this point as well. Like, either through emulation or official ports, all your games belong to us. Hello, I'm interrupting this video to remind you that this channel is sponsored by 4D Gaming. If you would like a really nice mousepad, go to 4dgaming.com and use code Joe for a discount. This channel is also sponsored by Glitch Energy. It's basically G Fuel, but better, so go to Glitch Energy and use code Joe for a discount. Thank you for letting me interrupt your content. I'll let you keep watching it now. Bethesda.net responds to the news, says PC day and date definitely happening. Gets a response from Jeffrey, who says their studios can't do day and date, that's why they bought a company to handle their ports, and that company can't do a port of all the games currently in development. Are you stupid? How do you think multi-platform game development works? Are you completely unfamiliar with the idea of a studio developing 2 versions of a game at the same time? Like, surely you can't be unfamiliar with that, because you know who develops multiple versions of a game at the same time? Sony. They developed PS4 and PS5 versions of many games at the same time. Sony Studios, I'm sure, with all of their funding and manpower, are more than capable of making 2 versions of the same game. They've just been choosing not to. But also, are you also completely unfamiliar with the idea of studios bringing in a second set of hands for different versions of the game? Because that's incredibly common industry practice. Like, it's totally common for that if a development studio doesn't have the time or resources or experience needed to get a certain platform's version of the game done, they bring in another team. And you said it yourself here that Sony already owns a PC porting studio. They own a really good one. So, genuinely, by your own logic, what's stopping them from day and date PC? Like, what technical reason is there that they can't do it? And all of this is aside from the fact that other AAA studios don't have any problem getting multiple versions of a game done on launch day. I don't know if you've noticed this, but having multiple versions of your game on launch day is kind of, it's something the industry has been doing for like 20 plus years now. Do I have to list off every AAA multi-platform release of the last 20 years to you? Like, just because Sony operates a certain way, that doesn't mean that the certain way they operate is industry standard. In fact, it's quite the opposite of that, which is why Sony's strategy has been changing the last few years. God, you people are so weird. Like, you can literally be staring at reality, and then you're just like, I'd rather not. Darth PSN registration says, stop promoting PC ports. Well, it's not like Sony promotes their PC ports either, so someone's got to do it. Sasuke says, Steam players love open world, eye roll. And console players as well? Question mark? Like, open world games are the in thing right now. They've been that way for a few years. God, again, you guys are so weird. Open world game comes out on PlayStation and you're like, woo, it's awesome. And then open world game comes to PC and the PC gamers like it and you're like, ugh, PC gamers and their open world games. Like, oh, yeah, no, okay. Whatever you say, boss. Shiko responds to the news of the port doing well and says, what a joke you are. Does not make it a good port because of those reasons. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, but I wasn't aware that anyone was saying that. Like, I wasn't aware that anyone was saying Ghost of Tsushima is a good port solely because it has high numbers of players. Like, if that was the logic we were using, that would mean Call of Duty has flippin' amazing ports every year. And holy cow, is that not the case? But, you know, whatever you need to dismiss the news. Like, whatever needs to be done in order to downplay PlayStation games doing well on PC. OP reports that a lot of people are playing and buying Ghost of Tsushima on PC, and you're like, yeah, well, that doesn't mean it's a good port. Like, first of all, no one said that it does make it a good port for that, but second of all, Ghost of Tsushima, by all accounts, is a good port. So, weird angle to take here. Marco says, good, it's a damn awesome game. Shame about the crybabies about the PSN requirement. Yeah, it's a shame people were just being crybabies about the game getting pulled from almost 200 countries to account for a multiplayer mode that didn't even launch with the original game. How dare PC gamers stick up for people that aren't themselves? Advocating for good practices in our market makes us crybabies, didn't you know? Okay, how about some posts that had nothing to do with the news? How about just some like good old straightforward PlayStation fanboy salt? Here's this one. Unleashed on launch day of Ghost of Tsushima on PC says, hot damn, Ghost of Tsushima has decimated Hellblade 2 on Steam on May 16th, way before Hellblade 2 was out. And also, Hellblade 2 isn't nearly as well known or mainstream as Ghost of Tsushima because it hasn't been getting praised for 4 years the way Ghost of Tsushima has. So obviously Ghost of Tsushima is selling better. But, you know, just remember to keep this energy when an Xbox game comes out on Steam and takes a higher sales spot than the latest PlayStation game on Steam. I just have a feeling you're not going to keep this energy. Nose tweets out, PC players, Ghost of Tsushima is awesome. Sony fanboys, it's 4 years old and a PS4 game. Do any of you genuinely like these games, or do you only like them because they're on PlayStation? This whole downplaying crap makes you look insanely shallow. And then @Saber0 responds, yes, that's why we didn't have to, nor would we wait 4 years for them. Enjoy our sloppy seconds. Okay, so you guys are just being totally open about this now. You just flat out say that you wouldn't have waited for this game. Like, you just flat out agree that you don't actually like the game. You agree that you only care that it was a PlayStation exclusive. Lots of very interesting tactics going around here today. Nose responds and says, you never cared for the game and it shows. Saber0 responds, yes, I never cared about it. That's why I bought it day one, beat it twice, got the plat, spent over 300 hours playing. Yep, I did all that just because I don't care about it. Crying face, I didn't care, and I like millions of other PlayStation gamers who didn't care, aren't a part of the success. Laughing face. Bro, you literally just said you wouldn't have waited 4 years to play it. You clearly said that there is a problem with the game being 4 years old. You literally said in this last post you wouldn't have waited to play it. My guy, if you think a game's age has an inherent impact on its quality, you're just not a gamer. Like, you're just not. Also, I have a feeling that if this game didn't come to PC and had remained exclusive to PlayStation, you wouldn't actually have a problem with its age, you know? Just a gut feeling. Ugh, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm on the fence about giving Sony any money for this game. I'm probably not going to because I'm just not stoked about it not being available in the non-PSN regions. Not having PSN is not a good reason to restrict people from experiencing the single-player content, especially since the multiplayer stuff didn't even launch with this game in the first place. But if you want PlayStation to grow as a brand, you have to get with the times, and the times are pretty clear. The PC and multi-platform games in general are the future. Console exclusivity is a dying practice. The money to sustain that practice is simply drying up, and there is so much money to be made on hardware that isn't made in one of Sony's factories, and Sony is finally realizing that. But also, if you're one of these people that just openly admits that they don't care about a game once it stops being exclusive, or that your opinion of a game deteriorates as it becomes more accessible, just know that you straight up are not a gamer. You're a corporate accessory. And if you want to be that, that's fine, just own it. But stop acting like you're anything more than that. It's just lame at this point. Find a new angle. Be innovative. Find a new way to be a fanboy. Because then I can make fun of you in new ways and I can stop getting kind of bored near the end of all my videos. Okay, toodles.